A Risky Ride by Alfred H. Miles. A risky ride, they called it. Lord bless ye, there wasn't no risk. I knew if I gave head, sir, that Painted Lady would whisk like a rocket through all the horses and win in a fine old style, with the field all a-tailin' behind in a kind of a Indian file. You didn't know old Josh Grinley, old Josh o' the Whitelands farm, as his father had tilled afore and his afore no harm ever touched one of the Grinleys when the Arlingtons owned the lands, but they ruined themselves through racing, and it passed into other hands. Ain't ye heard how Lord Arlington died, sir, on that day when Midlothian Maid broke down when just winning the stewards? Every farthing he'd left was laid on the old mare's chance, and victory seemed fairly within his grasp when she stumbled, went clean to pieces. With a cry of despair, a gasp, Lord Arlington staggered backwards, a red stream flowed from his mouth, and he died, with the shouts ringing round him, beaten by Queen o' the South. But I'm going on anyhow, ain't I? I began about my ride, and I'm talking now like a novel of how Lord Arlington died. Don't ask me to tell how I'm bred, sir, put my pedigree down as unknown, but a good un to go when he's wanted, from whatever dam he was thrown. Old Joshua, he's been my mother and father all rolled into one. It was as bred and trained me, got me ready and fit to run. It's been whispered he saved my life, sir, picked me up one winter's night, wrapped up in a shawl or summat. The tale's like enough to be right. It's just what he would do, bless Yes, I owed every atom to him, so you'll guess how I felt that mornin', when, with eyes all wet and dim, he told me the new folk would give but 2 weeks to pay his arrears. Then he cried like a little child, sir. When I saw the old fellow's tears, my young blood boiled madly within me. I knew how he'd struggled and fought 'gainst years of bad seasons and harvests, how nobly but vainly he'd sought to make both ends meet at the Whitelands. They never will do it, I cry. You've lived all your life at the farm, Josh, and you'll still live on there till you die. 'Tain't for me to tell stable secrets, but I know well just what I know. Go, say that in less than a month, Josh, you'll pay every penny you owe. A couple $100 was wanted to pull good old Joshua right. I was only a lad, but I'd 50. My money went that night, every penny on Painted Lady for the stakes in the coming week. I should have backed her afore, sir, but waited for master to speak as to what he intended a doing. I thought 'twas a plant, you see, with a bit o' rope in the question, so I'd let Painted Lady be. I knew she could win in a canter, as long as there wasn't no fake. And now, well, I meant that she should win, for poor old Josh Grinley's sake. The 3-year-old Painted Lady had never been beat in her life, and I'd always add the mount, sir, but rumors now 'gan to get rife that something was wrong with the filly. The bookies thought everything square for them, so they laid quite freely good odds 'gainst the master's mare. When he'd gone abroad in the summer, he had given us orders to train the lady for this race, sir. We'd never heard from him again. And seeing the bookies layin', I thought they knew more than I, but now I thought with a chuckle, let each look out for his eye. The morning before the race, sir, the owner turned up. With a smile I showed the mare. There she is, sir, goin' just in her same old style. We'll win in a common canter, Painted Lady and I, Sir Hugh, as we've always done afore, sir, as we always mean to do. He looked at me just for a moment. A shade of care seemed to pass all over his handsome features. Then he kicked at a tuft o' grass in a sort of a pet, then stammered, as he lifted his eyes from his shoes, "I'm sorry, my lad, very sorry, but tomorrow the mare must lose." He turned on his heel. I stood stroking my lady's soft shining skin, then I muttered, "I'm sorry, sir, very, but tomorrow the mare must win." I was 'tween two stools, as they say, sir. If I disobeyed orders, Sir Hugh would sack me as safe as a trivet, so I thought what I'd better do. I wasn't so long, for I shouted, "I've hit it. I'll win this race, and I'll lay £50 to a sovereign as I don't get the kick from my place." The day of the race, bells ringin' to clear the course for the start. I gets to an out-o-way corner, then quickly as lightning I dart my hand 'neath my silken jacket, pops a tiny phial to my lips, then off to mount Painted Lady, sharp into the saddle I slips. In a minute or two we were streaming down the course at a nailing pace, but I lets the mare take it easy, for I feels as I've got the race well in hand. "No, nothing can touch ye, you'll win," I cries. "Now then, my dear." All at once I feels fairly silly, then I comes over right down queer. I dig my knees into her girths, sir. I let the reins go, then I fall back faint and dizzy and drowsy, Painted lady sweeps on past them all. She can't make out what's a-happenin', flies on maddened, scared with fright, and wins by how far? Well, don't know, sir, but the rest hadn't come in sight. I was took from the saddle, lifeless, I've heard as they thought me dead. And after I rallied, 'twas funny, 'twas curious, very, they said. The matter was all hushed up, sir Hugh doesn't show his hands. I'm head boss now in the stables. Josh stayed and died down at the lands.